The funding for this video is provided by the amazing members of our Patreon. Also contributions from viewers like you. Thank you. Yeah, I started from PBS Kids. What you gonna do? Fight me? Anyway, roll the video. Let me tell y'all, the Kwamis was eating that ass up. They was eating that ass up in this episode. I was like, yes, get them, get them. Hey y'all, it's Harriyanna. I'm back with another video. Hi, hello, how are you guys doing? My name is Harriyanna, but welcome to or welcome back to the pirate ship, also known as Harry Hook's pirate ship. I am the captain. You are not my first mate. I don't got no first mate because you wanna know why? Bring y'all ass here, closer to the speaker so you can hear me clearly. Nobody is worthy of being the first mate, okay? This is my ship. I run this shit around here, okay? But hi, hello, if you're new to my channel, my name is Harriyanna and I like to make content based off nostalgia and family and children's entertainment and all these issues that I find within those spaces. Now, if you guys are unaware, you may want to go watch the one I did about evolution and then multiplication. But basically every week on Saturday I will get on here and basically give my thoughts about the most recent episode of Miraculous season 5. I want to review every episode every Saturday that it comes out in the English dub, mainly because I don't be knowing the release schedule for like the other countries and whatnot, and I got too much shit on my plate. I am in school, I run a business, like I'm either doing school or I'm working. I don't have time for that shit. Speaking of business, I want to make a quick little announcement before I get into this episode synopsis. It won't be long because I know you guys are dying to hear my thoughts about what the fuck that was, because that was insane, alright? But y'all, thank you guys so much. My book, You're Not Crucial, that's not a typo, it's a creative decision I made. That's why it says hot on the cover. Sold out in the physical copy. You can still get the digital copy on my site. I will be, you know, restocking the physical copies when I can. But until then, the digital copy is there. You guys can get that. And then also My Lady Perfidy. My Lady Perfidy is basically a Gabe Nat inspired story. It's basically Gabe Nat in color because, you know, yeah. So basically that's supposed to be Natalie, that's supposed to be Gabriel, but you know, me and my friend were the face claim for this. It's basically a tragic love story told through drawings, writing, and photography. Y'all know Tashana, she does all my photo shoots. Not all of them, but she does a lot of my photo shoots. She basically, yeah, we worked together on this. We ended up making a film for it too. Like, look at that shit. You can get this book on pre-order on my website, harriyannahook.com. If you would like 30% off your books, you guys can use code HOTSPOT30 for 30% off your order. And if you want, there's a whole discounted weekend sale going on. Everything else on the site is 50% off, but the books are not. If you want a discount, you can use that 30% off code. And then also the new stickers on the site. Alia, who we will be talking about later today. It's me and Alia, like me as Ladybug and then Alia in the car with me. It says Harry, it has my birth year on it and all that. And then next thing you know, we have my sticker focus. My sticker with the Black Powerful Girl Pirate. So let's go ahead and begin. Where do I even fucking start with this episode? Because I was already getting pissed off because we already started the show. Y'all know I can't ignore this because, you know, Alia was over at Marinette's house, you know, the mammy shit, you know. We kind of, the token black friend of mammy shit, that's just something that I just can't erase when it comes to this series. It's always there in my mind when I'm thinking about it and when I'm talking about it. I can't erase it. But basically, Alia and Marinette were having a sleepover. And basically, Gabriel bitch ass just busts up in the house. Like, he just busts up in the house. He's Monarch, but I just call his ass Gabriel. His mama named him Gabriel. I'm gonna call him Gabriel, okay? But before we even get to this section of the video, not the video, the episode. I'm talking like this is a YouTube video I just watched. The Kwamis was eating that ass up. Like I said, basically he was like, oh, yeah, I'm your owner now. You're gonna tell me what to do. So you're gonna sit here and tell me where Ladybug is. And then y'all, I thought it was over. I thought it was over. But basically the Kwamis were annoying the shit out of Gabriel because the Kwamis are annoying. Let's go ahead and admit that. But the Kwamis were annoying the absolute shit out of Gabriel, and he was just getting so fucking annoyed with them. So he was like, fine, whatever, take me to Ladybug. So they do end up in Marinette's house, and basically, long story short, because this entire sequence kind of pissed me off because it was kind of confusing. This show, that's another thing, but I thought it was a pretty good episode overall, but I'm just a little slow. So mind you, they basically just sent Gabriel on like this wild ass goose chase, and then Alia was like, oh, she put his ass on the Ladybug. She put him on the spot, and she was like, oh, since you here, let me get you on camera and embarrass your ass because you busted up in a 14-year-old girl's house. Like, Alia was like, we not doing this shit. I'm about to embarrass him. I'm about to mess with him. And it's funny because Alia wasn't even in on this shit. But it's basically a plan that Marinette had put together. Basically, if anything happened to the Kwamis, or if Gabriel got one of the Kwamis or whatnot, because you know he's fucking crazy. Basically, this was the plan for them to, you know, how to get back home. But you know, in the end, Gabriel bitch ass, you know, it's a show that we only on the 3rd episode of season 5. Of course, the Kwamis weren't gonna get back that fast. But basically, yeah, they don't get out. But something so fucked up happened in this episode, and then I'm gonna elaborate a little bit more on that, where I remember where I was bringing up the addiction storyline with Gabriel. Also, I'm glad, no love square bullshit. Thank you, I applaud that, because I just, that's part of the reason why I fell out with the show in the first place. But Gabriel, like I said, how he has been showing signs of addiction, and it does look like season 5 is going in that route. And I did mention this before on my channel about how I was somewhat worried about that, because I was like, the thing about it is that, like, I understand the show is doing this addiction storyline with Gabriel, but a lot of the people that watch this show are not that, I don't want to say they're not that smart, but they're not that considerate of others. Like, yeah, drag Gabriel to hell and back, but like him having addiction is not one of those things. You can drag him for numerous things, but like addictions are horrible. I'm someone who's dealt with it before. Okay, don't speak on shit you don't know. But Gabriel does have this big ass addiction to, you know, the miraculous, to Noru, to, you know, fighting Ladybug. Because we all know that the main purpose, moving back to evolution, the main purpose of Gabriel doing all this shit is because he wants to get his wife, Emily, back. And that's basically why Natalie started helping him with this shit in the first place, because she was like, hey, I figured out how you can get Natalie back, because, you know, Natalie's smart. That's my bitch right there. That's my, you know, and that song, Look Back at Me. Y'all not, a lot of y'all don't know what I'm talking about. I be talking about black references on here. Y'all be so confused. But it's a song by Trina called Look Back at Me. And it's a part where she says, that's my bitch right there, nigga. I was like, that's how I feel about Natalie. But she basically figured out like how to, like, you know, save Emily, because she realized that she would have saved her too. So he had chance to like stop doing this, because we already saw that he tried to stop doing that early in season 2, but then he couldn't resist and went to go akumatize Adrien or whatever the fuck. But we saw that he stopped doing it one time, but he couldn't resist. So that's when we first start to see these signs of him getting addicted. And in season 3, we start to see this addiction start to grow more and more as he starts to become more and more of a horrible person. It's actually very disturbing to see the decline of Gabriel aggressively. Rehab, please. But moving on from that, cut to season 5, how we see that this is no longer about him and Emily. This is just him trying to beat Ladybug, because he's gotten so used to this, like, you know, what he gets from Noru, because he's been using Noru for a hot minute now. He used Noru probably like 3 times a day or whatever the fuck. It's no longer about Emily. I don't think Gabriel can slap. And that's why he started using multiple Kwamis at one time, which is very fucking dangerous. And he's aware of this, because the Kwamis have told his dumb ass numerous times that this is dangerous. You shouldn't be doing that shit. But you know, Gabriel don't want to listen to nobody. So with that right there, Gabriel can't stop. And you know, it's very kind of scary to see what will happen if he does try to stop. Like, would there be like the withdrawal? Because withdrawal is terrible. I fucking hated it. Withdrawal is terrible, okay? That medication that I was on, I was not addicted to it, but because I was taking it every day for like half of a year and I stopped doing it, like cold turkey, I felt like ass for like 2 weeks straight. It was terrible. So I was like, even if Gabriel were to stop, I think part of the reason why is like he's just afraid of that feeling that he's gonna get when he does stop. I don't know. Gabriel's a very complex character in my opinion. Like, I prefer him in Fanon over Canon because in Canon he's fucking awful. But in Fanon, he's way more better over there, especially the way I write him. Gabriel, that's part of the reason why I'm just kind of like, okay, I can kind of humanize with him a little bit. Not humanize. I can sympathize with him a bit, but then at the same time, it's just like, nah, you're a horrible fucking person. I need you to get it together. I stopped feeling bad for Gabriel, like, in the beginning, like, of season 3, because at this point, it's just like, I feel bad for him for having this addiction, but, like, what he's doing to people is not okay. And this addiction, like I said, addiction, if you don't get it under control or get the help that you need or anything, it can just lead to worse and worse of things happening to you. Yeah, Gabriel got a cataclysm. Yeah, like that ass got burnt. Ew, Jesus, his arm is like burnt. Like that bitch burnt as fuck, okay? Like it's honestly so bad. Like, girl, what do you mean you're burnt? Like, I just couldn't get over that scene actually was in there. Wow, people were getting kind of upset because I saw like some discourse on it. I looked on my phone a little bit to see what people were saying about the episode before it came out. A lot of people were just talking about how they were like, why does he feel bad? Like Adrien, you know, as Cat Noir, he basically cataclysmed Gabriel, who is his dad. He doesn't know he did that shit to his dad. But he's just like, I feel so bad. I didn't mean to cataclysm him, whatever. And then I'm pretty sure that Gabriel took the yo-yo too. But he was like, I didn't mean to do this, you know. And people were like, no, why do you feel bad? He's a bad guy. But like, we all remember that, like, even though I'm still, because we saw that he did feel bad when he accidentally K-worded Aegon in the New York special. And then that entire thing with Scarabella, that's a whole nother topic for another discussion. I actually kind of like that, you know, Adrien was kind of upset that he was it an accident? I don't know. Sometimes I get confused watching this series, but he cataclysmed Gabriel. I kind of did like that he did have some sympathy there because he was like, oh my gosh, I literally did that to a person. That is a human being. I can't do this shit. This shit is terrible. And that just goes to show you that, like, because somebody was trying to say Adrien and Cat Noir are not the same person. And I'm like, no, yes the fuck they are. That was like Adrien's like actual self right there coming out there, because Adrien is very sweet and sympathetic and very caring. That right there in that moment is just kind of like he stopped the tough guy act and was like, hey, no, I did something that hurt somebody and this is not okay. So I wasn't upset with the fact that he was sad that he did that. But it honestly gets more disturbing then on from there. Like, moving on from Marinette and Alia and all that, I pretty much said everything that I felt about that right there. I said everything that I've said about Adrien for the most part. But it's mainly Gabriel that I just want to talk about for the rest of this. You know, video. I've already talked about Gabriel so much in it, but I want to talk about him a bit more because, like I said, because of Gabe Nat, everyone knows I'm like Gabe Nat queen. I'm the Gabe Nat. Am I the Gabe Nat queen? I'm one of the Gabe Nat queens, okay? But because of that shift right there, and I got so invested in the dynamic between him and Natalie, it also got me really interested in Gabriel's character too, because I'm just like, he's so fucking awful, but he's also so fucking interesting, because like I said, he's a fashion designer. Of course, like, I love fashion. I love, you know, glitz and glamour and all of that. I love designing, because like I even design my own stuff and whatever the fuck. I was very interested in him as a character, and just to see like how he acts behind closed doors, it just kind of makes me think of like all of those like fashion documentaries I watch where it's just like, oh no, they were not a great person, they're awful. It's like Ellen. It's like with Gabriel, it's like the Ellen effect, where everybody thinks that Ellen is like so great, but then like behind closed doors she was fucking terrible. That's kind of how it is with Gabriel and Grace, when I realized that's what he was, and that's why I became so interested in his character. So it's interesting to see what the cataclysm looks like on a person, and we saw that arm burnt as fuck. He need to go to the doctor, okay? Gabriel needs to go to like the doctor or the hospital, but I feel like he too scared to go, because they're gonna be like, what the fuck were you actually doing for you to get burnt like this? Because they probably gonna figure out it's like it ain't a regular burn, but whatever. So we see that he's like winching in pain, and it's just kind of painful to see, because it's just like, damn, this man's addiction has gotten so bad to the point of him basically being burnt. Like, it, oh my gosh, it was dead ass so disturbing. But he was just like winching in pain as he was just like designing stuff. We're finally fucking seeing Gabriel design. Like, we've seen him design in the past before, but no, he wasn't drawing or nothing. He was just looking at the stuff and he would close out of it. Like, no, thank you for actually making fashion, incorporating it into the story in Miraculous. I dragged y'all so many times on this channel for doing that. So that right there was just like, oh, like at the end of the day, we have to remember that Gabriel's a person. Like, he's a person that's hurting, and just be, like I said, it gives us understanding, but it's not okay what he's doing. So we have to remember that he's a person, and him not, you know, dealing with all that he's dealt with in his life, because I feel like there was just stuff that happened with him before Emily even passed for him to be the way that he was. Because we know how him and Emily basically, you know, forced their son to be a child star, and he didn't want to do that shit. Adrien also told his daddy in this episode that he didn't want to fucking model no more. I was confused, because I was like, wait a minute, did he say that in the last episode? Y'all know the show be confusing as hell for me. But we move, and remember how I mentioned in last week's video about this Tomoe. Tomoe's back. Tomoe came back, and I've been really interested in her character. Like I said, I've always been so interested in the adults of this show, because they're just all so like interesting and like complex. Like, they're all a hot ass mess. So we see that Tomoe has came back, and she's basically in there working with Gabriel and Natalie. Hold up. I'm just lost on this, because I was like, wait a minute, weren't you mad at him? No, first of all, why are y'all surprised that like Natalie went back? Because I wasn't surprised at all, but I was like, damn bitch, you could have gave it a little bit more time before you went back. Like, damn, you could have gave it a little more time, girl. You embarrassing me. But anyway, like, Natalie was in there, and for the most part, one thing I've noticed when it comes to Gabriel is that when Natalie is going around doing stuff and like assisting him, she just kind of like not there. She just like kind of just to the side and just like whatever. Because I remember I did a play back in 2019, you know, before the world. Yeah, but I basically, we did our play called Tartuffe, and it's a French play. And I ended up playing Flippot, and basically I did like 2 roles. Basically, it was the same character, but like disguised in the end. It was kind of like a Raven Baxter role where she dressed up like a man in that episode, but it was a bit like that. So in that play, basically, I was basically like the nurse of the family. Like, I was basically assisting the grandmother of the family. And it's like, nobody in the room would like fucking acknowledge me. Like, that's how it feels with Gabriel a lot of the times. And I was low-key getting that vibe right here when it came to when Tomoe was in the room. But basically, him and Tomoe were like basically talking about work shit and whatnot. And like I said, remember when I was like, Gabriel, you make clothes. Why are you doing this? Like, what are you doing? But I did find it interesting. Like I said, we actually seeing Gabriel design again. This nigga is crazy. Basically, he took the Kwamis, like, you know how the Kwamis have, like, you know, a necklace, a nose ring. He was looking goofy as hell in that nose ring. All of these different charms, like, you know, the anklet and all of that shit, the choker, all of that hair clip. He basically took all of those and ended up melting them and turning them into rings. Because I know he didn't want to be walking around with that goofy ass shit on. It's Gabriel, look at Gabriel dressed with the hair, with the butterfly hair clip. Actually, somebody draw that. Somebody draw that. And if you draw it, tag me. I gotta see this shit. But basically, Gabriel turned the, you know, the miraculouses into rings. So, you know, he just got them blinging. He blinked out. He blinked out. And that's basically how the episode ends. Like, that's just how it ends. So I guess that right there counts as Gabriel actually designing shit. Because, yay, we finally actually seen him make shit. But really, he's just using it to do bad things. I want to know more about, you know, what Gabriel is doing with his brand, because I was really confused, because I was like, you make clothes, you make, you know, you're like Rihanna, Fenty, you do a lot of stuff that relates to beauty and lifestyle and all of that shit. What are you doing with technology? Like, this is not correct. You don't go here. I am very curious to see if they're gonna start doing more stuff with Gabriel's brand for the sake of him doing bad. Like, are they gonna be, you know, putting things in the clothes? Like, we already saw that he did the things with the rings, but those were just for his personal sake, not because I know he just tired of looking goofy with that shit on. That's probably why he did that. But for the most part, it's just like, are they gonna continue to use the Gabriel brand for bad? And I was just want to think, I was like, has the Gabriel brand always been used for bad in the first place? I have so many questions surrounding this man, okay? I just have so much, like, so many questions, so many things about Gabriel, because like I said, he's such a horrible fucking character. Not like no, I think Gabriel's a pretty okay, decent character, but he's such a horrible fucking person. But like, he's such an interesting character, and I just gotta know more. At this point, I'm kind of more interested in the Gabriel brand than I am kind of Gabriel, because I just want to know, like, what is it actually like going on there? Like, how are the workers being treated and all of that jazz? I really would like to know, and it would be cool to see that. Like, can we get some background, please? Like, also, Miraculous actually sat his ass down for once. No one got akumatized, finally. Like, God. Like, I know Kuroneko, no one got akumatized, like, later on, because that was a Senti monster, but it was a relief, because, like I said, not everyone needs to be akumatized in every episode. The little wild goose chase that they sent Gabriel on was a bit confusing. It was nice seeing the Kwamis eat that ass up. Like, I said that like 4 times already in the video, but it was just delightful to see. We got to see some Alia. That was great. When are they gonna bring Nino back? I miss Nino. Where is he? Where's the rest of the class? Marinette, baby in distress, poor girl. Adrien wasn't really, like, he was in it, but he was more of Cat Noir than he was Adrien. I'm very curious to see where things go from here. Honestly, this episode was just very dark. Like, but for the most part, I wouldn't say multiplication was as dark as evolution was, but it was a way better episode than evolution was. But like, I think destruction kind of has both of those episodes beat at the moment when it comes in terms of story. Multiplication is still my favorite of the 3 so far, but that's pretty much it. That's all I gotta say. It wasn't that many people in this episode. The dude that runs the ice skating rink was back. That lady at the museum was back. Who was that? I'm sorry. I be forgetting. It's too many damn people in the show. I be forgetting sometimes. But that's basically my thoughts on destruction. Shit was getting destroyed, and Gabriel was one of those things, okay? If you like this video, please make sure you give it a thumbs up. I gotta sneeze. But like I said, everything on my website with the exception of the books, both physical and digital, are 50% off, which means you can get these stickers this weekend for 50% off. You're Not Crucial physical copy will be back in stock, but the ebook is there. Don't forget to get My Lady Perfectly picture book. Will be shipped out by mid-November, hopefully. Get it pre-ordered for now. You guys want to know other ways you can support me? I have Patreon, I have Ko-fi, and I have Buy Me a Coffee. All are deeply appreciated. I appreciate every little thing. You watching the video with the ad blocker off is literally helping me. But moving on from that, support my web series called The Progenies. It's a Descendants fan series. Links to that will be down below. We also have a GoFundMe campaign going for it, so please donate if you can. Last but not least, just follow me on everything at Harriyanna, HARIYANNA. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a good night. It's literally fucking 3 a.m. right now, and I gotta get this shit up so y'all can be watching it. Alright, good night. Nah, I'm not trying to sound like a brat or anything. I really am thankful, but good night. 'Cause I work hard to get to this point in my life. I'm blowing up, so don't hate, just congratulate. The Powerpuff Girls will just blow your mind. Buttercup like villains 3 at a time. Bubbles will smile while kicking your butt, and Blossom will lead them out of their rut. Cherish and Powerpuff, 2 of a kind. Both wanna save the world before bedtime. From Townsville, Memphis, New York to LA, the Powerpuff Girls are just here to stay. They coming through and fighting, and everyone they're shocking. You know no one can stop them all because of the